This your boy CJ.
And this your girl RINA, and this is Clara.
I thought she said her own name, that's why I said. That's why I ain't say nothing. You sure you alright? You ready?
You good?
Good, you ready?
You good?
Okay. Guys, we got a reaction video on geography now.
Wakanda, Black Panther.
Guys, don't forget to donate below so we keep going.
She is definitely ready.
She ready, guys. I know y'all ready. We're ready. You're ready.
I'm ready.
You're definitely ready. I know it. Let's get it.
Hey everybody, hope you're all doing good. Now I'm excited for this topical video because I'm not really much of a movie buff, but once every so often a preview will catch my eye. And after watching it, I decide I will wait a month and a half after the movie premieres so that I could go to the discount Regency Theater on half-off Tuesdays to watch a movie for once in my life. Dude, I ain't gonna pay no $15 at the ArcLight, but one movie that I'm actually kind of excited for is Black Panther, starring Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, and Lupita Nyong'o. I actually kind of grew up appreciating comic books and superheroes and superhero movies and plot lines and all that good stuff. Like, I didn't collect comics, but I would go to the comic book store and read the comics and then walk out. Anyway, the cool thing about Black Panther is that it takes place in a fictitious nation known as Wakanda. And I think what the Marvel Universe did to this place is really cool. Before we get into this though, if you like heroes and villains and battles, our good friends Vikings War of Clans decided to sponsor this video once again. Thanks guys! Vikings War of Clans is a strategy RPG game similar to those in the early 2000s in which you have the ability to build your own cities, raise your own economies, trade, and attack enemy bases. Support Geography now by downloading the game in the links in the description. Also, the Vikings are giving away a free iPhone X and a MacBook Pro. In order to submit, download the game, upgrade your palace to level 5. Or if you want to go for the MacBook Pro, upgrade to as high as you possibly can and submit. All the information is in the link in the description below. Thanks Vikings, you guys are always helping us out. Really appreciate it. You guys rock. Now back to Wakanda. When it comes to Wakanda, the Marvel Universe has gone under a subgenre known as Afrofuturism, a plot that follows a timeline in which certain areas and people groups of Africa have developed beyond the cultures of the planet. Now here's the thing, according to Marvel, Wakanda is supposed to be located somewhere in sub-Saharan Africa. However, the location always kind of seems to shift over the years. Sometimes it's close to Lake Victoria, sometimes it's close to Lake Turkana, some say it's between Libya, Ethiopia, Kenya, or Uganda. However, to me, if you look at all the artist depictions of what Wakanda looks like, it seems to be nestled in a mountainous region nearby a major source of water. If that was the case, I would probably rule out Lake Victoria, since the land surrounding it is mostly a flatter basin with only small rolling hills. So then does that mean Lake Turkana up north on the border of Kenya and Ethiopia is a better option? Kind of, since it lies right on the Rift Valley mountain range. However, the problem is that it's located in a dry desert, whereas every depiction of Wakanda shows a lush green ecoregion. So if that was the case, I would say that Wakanda would most likely be located somewhere in the vast uninhabited regions of Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Most likely on Lake Edward, shared with Uganda, as you can find lush green mountains just below Mount Stanley right next to the body of water, which is relatively big. Now, although other lakes like Lake Tanganyika and Lake Kivu would also be kind of good candidates, I don't think they would work because there's already towns and settlements along the coasts, which would not give room for Wakanda. Lake Edward seems to be the only viable candidate, even though you can find small villages on the mountains, but still more chance for Wakanda. In terms of their border demarcations, the country of Wakanda is almost always depicted as a place that only has sovereignty over its capital, Birinzana, as well as a few other towns, valleys, and hills surrounding it, divided into tribal territories that unified, such as Kenin, Azania, Niganda, and Mohanda. Although there's no way to be completely sure since most of the maps don't contain a distance scale, this would mean that Wakanda, being primarily situated around a metropolitan center with few lands surrounding it, would be classified as a micro-state, similar to Singapore or Monaco. Nonetheless, that would not be a problem for them because according to the Marvel Universe, Wakanda is one of, if not the most advanced society on the planet. They've developed their own advanced computer systems, hovering aircrafts. From birth, every citizen is provided kimoyo beads that are not only used for communication, but also monitors their health and records medical history. Supposedly, they also have a cure for cancer, but are reluctant to share it with the outside world. One council member even saying that if they, the outside world, cared about their people's health, they wouldn't sell cigarettes. Speaking of which, the governmental system of Wakanda is pretty unique too. According to the Marvel Universe, Wakanda is ruled by the king, otherwise known as the Black Panther, which is where the hero comes from. The Black Panther is not only the king, but also the religious figurehead as they follow ties to the Ennead, ancient beings that they believe visited Earth long ago and were worshipped in Egypt first. The Black Panther also has to prove his worth with a series of combat and herbal rituals. Usually the role is hereditary, but it can be challenged by anybody in the kingdom in a combat ceremony, which is where part of the plotline comes from with Michael B. Jordan's character. The history of Wakanda is pretty shrouded in mystery, however, according to Marvel, it starts a long time ago when a huge meteorite containing vibranium, the metal that Captain America's shield is made out of, struck an area that the locals noticed and built a mound to cover up as it became their most prized resource that allowed them to advance and flourish. The national language of Wakanda is Wakandan, which I would assume is possibly maybe Bantu-based or maybe even Cushitic-based if they still hold the ties to ancient Egypt as portrayed in the comic books. It could even be like an evolved dialect of the ancient Nubian language that went extinct in the South Nile area. The major resource of the country is, of course, vibranium. They have used this mineral to turn them into one of the most economically stable nations on the planet. Apparently, vibranium is sold at $10,000 per gram, and Wakanda's sacred mound is estimated to have about 10,000 tons of the material. They have their own military composed of an army, navy, and air guard, as well as the former Hatut Zeradze, or secret police, which is where Lupita Nyong'o's character comes in, whereas the king is protected by the Dora Milaje, a devoted female warrior bodyguard, trained in a facility known as the Upanga. The country also has their own council of elders known as the Taifa Ngao, made up of 18 united tribes. They have their own intelligence agency known as Pride, Princess Region Intelligence Division executives. Their technology is incredibly advanced with independently developed computer systems. They have hovercrafts, teleportation machines. One thing I really appreciate though, just by looking at the trailer, is the aesthetic research that they pulled off. They incorporated a lot of pan-African elements into a cyber-futuristic setting that doesn't sacrifice any of the indigenous undertones. They have body modification customs, like the scar patterns on Michael B. Jordan's character Eric Killmonger Stevens that resemble those of the Mursi and Surma tribes of Ethiopia. Certain characters have lip plates, bead artwork, you know, small little details like that. Overall, I'm pretty excited. I mean, I don't know exactly how the plotline is going to unfold. Apparently, there's a car chase scene that happens in a busy city section of Korea for some reason, so I'm down for that. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'm just pretty excited for this movie. And I think one of the reasons why is because Africa is always usually kind of marginalized in media, and for once, it's just in the spotlight in a powerful, beautiful, cinematic experience. And I like that. Anyway, that's just my kind of take on Wakanda. Hope you liked it. Subscribe if you'd like, and stay cool. Stay tuned.
Wow, Wakanda got a lot more than I thought it did.
It does. It's like a mystical, magical place full of a lot of cool stuff.
And honestly, I thought Wakanda was not real. I'm sorry, I just figured out it was real.
I thought Wakanda still wasn't real. He was trying to figure out where in the world it would be located if it was real.
Well, I thought it was real. I thought it was. He confusing me because I'm thinking this is real.
Well,
I think this is real.
Wakanda's not a real place. It's not real. He was trying to figure out, like, if it was anywhere in the world, he was trying to tell you where it would be.
Okay, guys, y'all way of thinking, I'm pretty sure somewhere in this world got something called Wakanda. So, y'all put y'all comment below and let us know who y'all think is actually right. Is it fake or real? And also, donate below so we keep going.
And guys, make sure to subscribe to CJ, RINA, and Clara.
Like always, guys, peace.
Bye.
Saying